It's a warm welcome to Altrincham Football Club, to Dior Angus. Dior, we're sitting here in the canteen at the training ground at Edgerton on a warm, sunny June morning. Welcome to the club. How excited are you to be facing a fresh challenge and starting it with Altrincham?
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's been a difficult 2 years for me personally, with not playing much football, but Gaffer's shown some faith in me, which is appreciated, and I'm looking forward to getting the ball rolling.
Yeah, we'll get to that. If we could sort of rewind to the beginning, and maybe you could talk us through your football journey to date, Dio. I mean, you started at Solihull Moors at, was it about 16 years old when you joined the club?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. How did that come about? Were you
I was
scouted or?
No, I was at college, and I just played for the youth team, and then I just started training for first team and played a couple of games and sort of went from there. So.
And there were a few loan deals, I think, weren't there, after that? Can you tell us a bit about those?
Yeah, I ended up playing for Leamington for a period and Banbury and stuff. So it's all like good football education, really. And then I was playing non-league until 24. So, yeah.
And was that the time when you got the move to Port Vale and you got a big opportunity in the football league?
That was it. Yeah.
What are your memories of that?
I just remember being at Redditch and having a good spell from the start of the season through till Christmas, and then the goals got recognised and I was lucky enough to make the move.
Yeah. And those loan spells, was the loan spell at Nuneaton after you joined Port Vale?
Yes, yeah. I went to Tamworth first of all. I had an injury that was just sort of me getting used to the full-time football thing, and then I went to Nuneaton and did all right there.
Well, I was going to say, was that really the one loan spell where everything really clicks? Because the figures looked very impressive. Was it a goal every other game, over 20-odd, 25 games or so there?
Done your research, haven't you?
I had a look last night. I tried to come prepared if I possibly could.
But yeah, I suppose it did really. I just got a run of games behind me. I feel like whenever I've had a decent run of games, I've scored goals. And it happened.
You always wonder about that, if there's something that just makes it happen for you at a particular club?
There was sort of sentimental value to Nuneaton.
So was there an emotional attachment?
Yeah,
there?
with my dad
Your
playing
dad
there,
for
so
Nuneaton,
they were massive shoes to fill. I think I filled part of the shoe, but there's still a bit to go. So yeah, maybe that helped, but it's just getting a run of games, which is important for anyone in any position, really.
Were people aware of that at Nuneaton? Were they aware of your dad having played?
Yeah.
Did that help with the welcome you got?
Yeah, I suppose so. Obviously, I was familiar with people around the club from when I was a kid and going up there, so it was nice to be able to represent them for a period of time.
So I'm guessing as well, probably with any position, but striker in particular, confidence must be a big thing, is it, for kind of playing to your full potential? Yeah,
massively. It just becomes a habit of what you're doing each game and stuff. So when you start hitting the back of the net, it's a nice feeling as well. So you wanna replicate that.
Sure. And after Nuneaton, was it Barrow for a spell in 2019?
Yeah. Enjoyed my time at Barrow. That was a loan to the end of the season. Then I signed, and then that's when we won the league that year. So yeah, fond memories of that.
And in particular there, I noted that you formed a really effective partnership with Scott Quigley.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting with strikers. I mean, some you think operate on their own. Well, often that's the system, just one up top. Others are noted, it's happened down the years many a time, for a partnership with another striker. Yeah. Have you a sort of a preference, or are you happy either way?
Happy either way, but no, we did form a good connection. He was at Vale for a bit, so I kind of knew him from there. But sometimes it just works. We didn't really talk much on the pitch either. You sort of work off each other's body language and movements and stuff, and went from there.
And styles blending, were the two of you a bit of a contrast individually, style-wise?
Yeah, I suppose we were. I wish you'd have passed to me a bit more. But,
you should have spoken to him more. So pass to me, Scott.
But it was that Barrow wind, you can hear me. Yeah. But probably contrasting styles did help.
I mean, it's a successful time, clearly, because you got promoted to the Football League.
Yeah,
so. That must have been a good time for you. And I mean, they're all going through the list. They're all kind of big clubs, certainly at our level, because you then went to Wrexham and on an 18-month contract, I think, didn't you? And how would you just describe your time there?
Yeah, it started well. Again, I was playing then, but obviously the big turnaround with owners, and they did take over. We actually played Altrincham the day that it got announced. Actually, played FC United. It was freezing.
Oh, I remember the game. Yeah,
Yeah.
Leicester United. Yeah.
It got announced that day actually that they'd taken over, and I had a good like sort of 6 months there. We missed out on the playoffs, but then new manager, new influx of players, and then my opportunities were limited from there.
So what was the sort of the mood amongst the players when that was announced? The fact that it was two huge Hollywood names taking over the club.
I think there was a bit of excitement, but it was kind of tinged with lads were thinking, this means that my days are numbers sort of thing. So there was a bit of like apprehension from lads, I suppose.
I know what you mean. They'd be coming in thinking, right, we're going to throw money at bringing
new manager, going to bring new players in and stuff, which
yeah.
is a thing in football, but it was just magnified in that scenario.
Did you ever get the chance to meet Ryan Reynolds? Or
a few times.
Did
you?
you?
Really good guy.
What did you make of him?
Just a nice, normal person.
I mean, we've seen him on television. The one of the promotion games towards the end of the season was screened live, and he was interviewed, and he came across as very engaging. But then, of course, that's in front of the cameras. I mean, away from that,
he's actually a genuine guy.
That's what you get.
Yeah, really nice guy who just happens to be really good at his job.
Yes.
So,
yeah, absolutely, absolutely the case. But you're obviously well enough there, Dio, because you then got the move to Harrogate, and it's for an undisclosed fee. So things still kind of moving well for you.
Yeah, and then it was just a bit unfortunate. I started the first few games and I was playing and stuff, and then had an unfortunate injury, which is part of the game, isn't it? And then you struggle to get back on track and stuff. New players come in and people take their opportunities, but it's part of it.
So is this what you mean when you referred at earlier on about the difficult 2 years?
Yeah, not playing as much at Wrexham and then the injury at Harrogate, but it's part of it, and you just have to sort of accept it.
I mean, was that some players have a few injuries and get referred to or get labelled as injury prone, but in your case it was just a bad ankle ligament injury.
Yeah, just rolled my ankle. Kyle Ferguson's fault. I blame him.
Was it? Was it really? No.
I just ran into him and he's like a brick wall, and then fell and sprained it.
Bounced off him.
Yeah.
So it's just a freakish thing, really.
It's just one of them things.
Yeah. And how long did it take to get over that?
It was about 12 weeks in the end, but then I got a setback in training after that. But we're all good. We're here now.
Yeah. So you've got over that, and you've got this chance with Altrincham now. I just wonder whether Miles Welch Hayes, did you speak to him at all about Altrincham?
Yeah. I spoke to Miles and Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle as well, of course.
And they both actually said like that's the most they've enjoyed their football in a number of years. So when you hear something like that, because from a footballer's point of view, I don't think you have loads of happy times at football, despite what it might look like. So when you hear someone speaking so positively, I think you have to make the most of it.
Sure. And how important is it to be playing for a manager who believes in you? I mean, have you had the chance to?
Yeah, massive. I spoke to him on the phone, and I said I appreciate your sort of faith in me, because he sort of knows the me of a couple of years ago, and obviously I haven't played a great deal since then. It's still the same player, and I'm still, even though I'm 29, still looking to improve, and I know that I can do that under him.
Well, I was going to say an injury layoff can take a bit out of a player sometimes, but you've come back from this one, and I think you've pretty much just answered it. But you're completely the player that you've always been. It's not taking anything out of you.
Yeah, no, it's just part of it, don't you?
Yeah.
You just take it in your stride. And to be honest, after an injury, you're normally coming back stronger because you've done more work on that area than you would have before. So,
what I was going to say as well is, if it's taken a bit of time out of your career, do you feel that it's kind of more determined than ever to make the most of what's left?
Yeah, you want to get that feeling back. Like, it's one of the best feelings ever, putting the ball in the net, and winning on a Saturday and all that. So you want to get that feeling back.
I was going to ask you that as well. You said about putting the ball in the net, and that's the thing with strikers. There's nothing like it. Was that always the case when you were a kid? Were you always somebody who liked hitting the ball in the back of the net? Or
yeah, I was actually. Through my early 20s, I played out wide, and then when I was at Redditch with Darren Byfield, who I always offer loads of thanks to, he sort of said, like, you're a striker. Thierry Henry is my idol, so that was that was a big thing. So yeah, that buzz of like scoring is something that you want to replicate.
Well, I mean, he was somebody who out and out striker and goal scorer, brilliant player, but he would often raid, if you like, from wide positions, wouldn't he? I mean, is that something like your style?
I do tend to kind of drift out to that left-hand channel, probably Henry influenced, yeah.
So can you tell us a bit more about what Alty fans can expect from you? So with your style of play generally, Dio, you're 6 foot, you're do a bit in the air, do you, or not so much?
We'll
no?
pass on that.
Right.
If I'm being brutally honest.
Let's move on to pace. Finishing.
Yeah, running behind,
Yeah.
finish, and I like to think I'm a friendly face. So if anyone sees me, have a chat.
Good, I'm sure they will. And the other thing I noted was you're a big Coventry City fan. Are you
I
not?
am.
Yeah.
I'm just getting over the heartbreak of last
Well,
weekend.
I know. Were you there or watching on the
I
telly?
was.
You went to.
I was in
Wembley.
France, and I had like a triple train journey, flight, stay over to get there.
Did you
So
interrupt your holiday for it then?
I kind of came home a day early. I was fishing. I'm
Got
a
you.
fisherman,
Right.
believe it or not.
Right.
So, yeah, that was quite
Another
a night
night,
short.
Yeah. And so you were so that shows your devotion to the
Yeah.
Sky Blues
Yeah.
cause then.
Yeah.
But I mean, the run to Wembley came from nowhere, really, didn't it? Didn't it? Was there any consolation that you?
No, it was, to be fair, because I was like, well, no one expected it. No one expected us to beat Middlesbrough. We did.
Yeah.
It was a good day out, and then we'll see what happens next year.
And just bringing it back to Alty, you're sort of raring to go, and you see yourself as a good fit for the club, and the club a good fit for you, hopefully.
Yeah, of course. When I was at Barrow, we played very similar to how the manager wants to play here, so I know I'm going to look forward to it. And
Yeah, he does very much like the ball to be on the deck and
Yeah,
build, and that's the sort of thing.
as a
that will
footballer,
suit you.
you do, if it's the right way or not, people argue it, but most lads will see it as the right way. And
Yeah.
try and build on what the boys achieved last season and see where it takes us.
Absolutely. And I mean, do you know much about Altrincham as a club, the players?
Obviously, I've played against them a lot, had the run around a lot. So it's always a club where you're like, oh, it's a good club that, and now I live in Manchester, so
Right.
it's a good fit. So
Yeah. So yeah, that sounds good. And of course, we'll see how it pans out, whether it's one up top or not. But Regan Lilly made quite an impact last season. Could be a partnership with him, maybe.
yeah, I've seen a bit about him on Twitter and stuff, and it's nice to see that more people are coming from non-league into full-time games. So like try and help him as well at the same time.
Yeah, that's because you've got quite a bit of experience you could pass on. Yeah,
Similar journey and stuff. So
good stuff. Great. Look, that's Dior Angus, Altrincham's new signing, and it's great to see it at the club. We wish you all the very best.
Thank you very much.
In Alty colours.
You're a
Dior,
star.
thank you.
Thank you.